G'day everyone, how's it going? Coming at you from the studio today, and I've got an awesome audio setup to boom in without using a cable, without the need for an external recorder. You can do this on a DSLR with a 3.5mm. You can do it on a mirrorless like a Canon EOS R. This is an absolute game changer, and finally I've got it and I've set it up, and it's just been awesome so far. So it is the Rode Filmmaker XLR, and Sony do a similar product as well. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased this product myself and I've been using it, and I just think it's unreal. So the reason why it's awesome for DSLR setups, mirrorless setups, I'm using it right now on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K without the need for the XLR inputs. And I've only got the audio settings at 50%. So I've got it set to the 3.5mm input at 50%. And on the actual unit itself, I'm running that at 30 dB gain, and it's a clean gain. As you can hear, there is some noise in this office. I've actually just got a new light, the Godox. We've actually had it up in our Gold Coast office for a while, so it's been sent down to me for a project, video shoot that I have coming up. But that's got a little bit of fan noise to it, and just to show you what that looks like. That's without it, and that's with it. And it's just set up here with a massive softbox. I can show you that in a B-roll, bit of B-roll. But yeah, this is at 10% intensity, and so that's got a bit of noise coming out of that. I've also got some fan noise on my computer's right here, and underneath I've got my hard drive. So, but what you're hearing is this Rode NTG2 running through the Rode Filmmaker XLR kit. And I think the beauty of this device is that it's seamless. It can run for a long time. So I've got the Rode NTG2, which has actually got a battery. So that's an internal battery. So if you run it with a Rode NTG2, or I think it's a Rode NTG4, they've both got batteries. So you can run this thing for 4 hours with just two AA batteries, but you can also run it with an NP style battery, with a NW and F type Sony batteries. So I have these F970s from Lavaliere, and we use these for our Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera. But you can run this kind of battery arrangement with this setup, and it goes directly in the microphone, just clips in like that. And it's awesome because that way you can run this thing for up to 10 hours, whatever. So even on a really long shoot, you could run this thing without any worry. And the microphone itself, with the AA battery inside the microphone, the internal battery in the microphone, that allows you to not need to run the 48 volts. So you're going to get the really good record time on this unit. So I haven't tested it extensively yet, but from what I've found so far is it sounds awesome. And it doesn't add any kind of flavor or anything to the mix. It doesn't add anything that I get or I wouldn't get through recording in the H5 or through an XLR on its own. The other thing that this item does is you can use this as a like a belt pack for a lavalier mic, because it has the actual mic fitting. So silly, when I bought these, I got a couple of these kits to use on shoots and stuff like that. So I got two of the TX and two of the RX, which is the lav setups. And I didn't realize I probably should have got one of these setups and then one of the Filmmaker XLR, because the XLR can be used as a belt, on a belt pack as well. It comes with a little pouch that you put it in, and you can put that on your belt and plug in a lav into it. So it can double as a lavalier as well. But the good thing about it is, which is better than the TX or the RX, just the normal belt pack, is you've got up to 40 dB clean boost. So whereas these packs, if you open up like this, you can see here, they've got a maximum of plus 20 dB boost. So there's no way to electronically boost it any more than 20, but on the actual XLR from Rode, you can boost it up another 20 dB. So, and it is clean. It's a really nice preamp that Rode have put inside it, and it boosts the gain really nicely. So I've found with the NTG2 that I used to run, I've done a video on this before, the Phantom FET head. So I'll just get that down. I used to run the Phantom FET head, which gives me, for an XLR input, it gives me 10 dB clean gain. And I do that just to kind of clean up what I get from the Rode NTG2. I like the mic for my voice and for most of the productions that I do. interview style, I set up this mic as my A option, and then I'll probably have a lav as a second option, but generally I'll use this mic on my productions, and I've really enjoyed how it sounds. And yeah, I've captured really good audio with it. It doesn't really require much tweaking, just, you know, a normalization, maybe some compression, at light compression, and a little bit of, maybe I'll taper off the lows and I'll boost the highs a little bit, but otherwise it's giving me a pretty good sound no matter who I'm filming. So, but one thing was that it was quite a low noise level. It didn't have enough gain in the mic itself. So when I used to use it with a DSLR, I used to have to boost up the internal preamps on the DSLR. As we know, the older Canons had really bad preamps, so I was always didn't want to do that. I always wanted just like a nice clean boost coming through, and then I could use a really low level on the preamp within the camera itself. So this allows me to do that. Right now on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera I mentioned before, I'm running 50% of the gain in camera, and this gives me a really clean sound directly into camera. So for interviews and for setups and things like that, this is actually an awesome option. I get about 3 hours runtime out of this, so I can easily cover an interview or a couple of interviews with this setup, and it's just a quick change of the batteries. To, you know, if I want to run for a full day of shooting, I could probably run pretty easily on about 4 AA batteries, AA batteries, or I could put in, like I said, an NP or an F-type battery from Sony or Neewer, or, you know, any sort of aftermarket battery I could put in there and run on that for, you know, up to 6 or 8 hours. So this really is an awesome solution. I can move this around without worrying about another extra wire. I don't have to worry about an external piece of recording equipment, so I can eliminate that step altogether in my post-production. When I bring in this file, it's awesome because I can just lay it straight in, and yeah, it gives me all the audio recorded through the boom right there on the footage itself, so there's no syncing up anything later, which is awesome. The other thing that's really cool about this is that I can actually set in the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera different levels for the same input. So for that 3.5 mono, I can set one at 50% and I can do one at 60%. So what that gives me is an option that's a safe option. So if someone gets really, really exuberant in an interview, or they laugh, or they clap their hands, or something kind of clips the audio, I can have a safe channel as well. And then I can just bring that into post afterwards, match up those two channels. And if I need to use the safe channel, I can just bounce to that side and use that side, or I can, you know, cut and paste the audio however I need. And then if I don't need the safe channel, I can just balance out the two inputs and just run with that. So it's awesome. It's a really good solution, something I hadn't thought of, you know, up until this point. And I knew I wanted to get something like this. I know there's something in the Sony that's probably around $1,000, but also I already had the Rode system and I like the Rode system. It's a little bit lacking in sound quality as compared to, say, a Sennheiser or the top end Sony systems. But I really like this setup, and I've used it extensively now, and I'm used to how to EQ it and how to get the best sound out of it. So this is going to become, I think, my go-to setup for interviews, and we'll see how it runs on the next couple of interviews, but I'll be sure to check in if there's any issues with it, or if I find any more problems, I'll check in with you, do a video on that. But at the moment, I'm super happy with it. And yeah, hope this video has helped you. And if you're looking for this, I've put the links below to this through Amazon. And it's really affordable compared to what it is and for what it does, because it gives you the ability to do the lav recording as well with a lav mic, and then you can also plug the XLR into it. I'll also put the links below to this mic I'm using right now, which is the Rode NTG2. And if you also look at the Rode NTG4 Plus, I think it is, that mic also has a that mic also has a battery that you can use as well. So therefore you don't have to run 48 volts, and you can just record for like the longer period. If you have 48 volts on, it does drain the battery quicker. So I would say go for a mic that has an internal battery, and that runs its own 48 volts. Well, that's all from me, you guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be doing a lot more content around this kind of stuff, and yeah, just setups like that. Also be doing one on the Godox SL60, and the little RCA5 as well. Awesome little thing. You know, right now I can boost up exposure with this, you know, or bring it down, and I'm running currently at 10%. which is cool, with a massive softbox from New Ear as well. So I'll be doing a video on that shortly, and yeah, stay tuned for more content. If you have any comments for me or any questions at all about this setup, just chuck it in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing from you down there, and I'll always get back to comments as best as possible. Usually I'm really quick at getting back to them as I run the app on my phone. Now I'm just blabbering on, so I'm gonna wrap this up. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.